Hey, everybody.
Hey, guys. This is Steven.
And this is Michael.
And we are the Movie Bros.
We are the Movie Bros.
We are. And we're actually going to flip spaces. Oh, there we go. Now we're in our proper abode. Yes. Yeah, I think that's right. We lost you a little bit there from the lighting, but that's okay. What's happening, everyone? Thank you guys for joining us tonight on our second our third live stream of the channel since our relaunch yesterday. Appreciate you guys stopping in. We're going to just hang out here for about an hour and a half, approximately, hour, maybe a little bit less than that, because after this live stream, we're going to be hopping over to the Night Watch Zone to join him and Coriander and watching Tusk, the movie Tusk, which I've never seen. Mike, have you ever seen it?
I don't think I have. I remember them talking about it or saying something about it on a commercial or something, but I can't remember anything about it. So it'll be new for me too.
Cool. Awesome. Well, it's going to be a new watch for me, Mike, and for Knight. So it's going to be a first-time watch for lots of us. So if you guys hopefully can all join us over there when we wrap up this discussion, and we'll be over there. And I see that Val's in the chat. What's up, Val? The General says, I'll be there. Though I may stumble on my way, I will be there. We're all going to be there. Let's get it up.
Val, why? Why, Val?
Get it up. Oh, man. There we go. Val, I had to do it. And Katie says, I'm going to be there as well. All right. Fantastic. What's going on, Katie? Good to see you here this evening. And Chad was here a little bit earlier. Good to see you, Chad. Appreciate it. Glad you are here. If you are still here, glad you were here. At least we're here, and hopefully you are still here. All right. So, guys, listen. Tonight's stream, we thought we would talk about the John Carpenter apocalyptic trilogy. The Thing, and The Mouth of Madness, and Prince of Darkness. And we just watched Prince of Darkness literally a couple hours ago. So it's really fresh on the mind tonight. And we're like, let's do this thing. So, Mike, where would you like to start? Maybe we should probably start back at the original origin point of this trilogy, right? Going back to the masterpiece that is The Thing. And it's obviously a remake of the original version. But this to me is one of John Carpenter's very best films. I rank it next to Halloween 78. I've got Halloween 78 as my number one, and I think for me this is my second most favorite John Carpenter movie. Mike, what are your thoughts on The Thing, dude?
Well, I saw it back when it came out. His version when it came out in the 80s, and it scared the crap out of me. It has Kurt Russell in it and a whole ensemble cast, and it's just, it gets to a point in the movie where you're like, there's nothing they can do except contain this outbreak with the alien, because you don't know who the alien is, except for just you're gonna die, but are you gonna die having contained the alien outbreak, or are you gonna let it go? So it was very, very well done. Like you said, it's actually one of my favorite John Carpenter movies. It was super scary for me, because if any little piece of that thing got on you, you were done. you're dead, and you're turned into alien monster. So, when did you see it first? I think I made you watch it first with me.
Yeah, you
back in the
did.
day.
It was back in the 90s, somewhere in the mid 90s or so is when I saw it for the first time. And yeah, it was horrifying. I mean, it's the perfect setup for that kind of a movie. A contained location site, you're stranded, you can't leave, and you just literally have to stay there and fight or die. That's all you can do. And it's the ultimate setup. I love those kind of setups. They're amazing. What's going on, Night Watch Zone? What's up, Night? We're just talking about you, man. We're gonna be heading over to your channel in about an hour. And Night, listen, man, you may not be able to do it right now, and that's fine. But impromptu on the stream, if you're available to join the panel, man, just let me know. You're welcome to join us for the next hour or so as we talk about the Carpenter trilogy. I know you may not be able to, so it's cool. But let me know if you're able to. Just let me know. If not, it's totally cool. What's up, Jennifer Armstrong? What's happening? Good to see you tonight. All right, glad you're here. So yeah, I saw this with Mike in the 90s for the first time, and it was a really scary movie. I mean, I remember really being like freaked out, man. Night. This is bringing me back seeing you. I know, man. Tell me about it. This is where it all began. We went back to our virtual house. You'll find us waiting here for you. Yeah, man. It's true, Night. This really goes back, way back, like over a year. But yeah, man, it feels good to be back in the old saddle, Mike. Feels good to be back in the saddle, buddy. No worries, Knight. I figured that was the case. No worries. You're good, buddy. Val says it creeped me out when that guy's head turned into a creature. Oh, I know. Michael, the practical effects in this movie were spot on.
Yeah, when that guy's head like ripped off his neck and fell on the floor, and then the legs sprouted, and it was upside down, and it's making those noises, you know.
Hey, make that sound again. Yeah.
And then they had to like flamethrow everything. It's just crazy. And then they had everybody tied down, and they're cutting people's fingers. I mean, a lot of the times you can handle like people being burned to death or chopped or whatever, but then you take a little scalpel and cut their finger, and it just makes you creeped out even more, you know, to get a little blood. And when that blood jumped out the petri dish and people are like running around freaking out, it's just, I get creeped out thinking about it right now.
Yeah, so. It was rough, man. It's very scary. What's up, Marcus? I shot him 6 times. Good to see you, man. ATG says, well, guess I got to subscribe to another channel. Well, thank you, man. We would greatly appreciate it, my friend. Yeah, the funny thing, ATG, is that this is actually my first channel. This is where it all began. All began right here last May of last year. And the Craven channel, I didn't start till September. It was the second channel to talk horror. And so, yeah, so Michael and I have kind of gone dormant on this channel for about 6 months, and we decided to revive it. So, yes, welcome. Welcome here to the channel. And we're going to be streaming at least once a week. That's the plan. So hopefully you guys can all make a plans to come every week and visit. We're going to talk horror and not just horror. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff, comedies, action. This is a channel where it's going to be a mixed bag of movies. So we hope you will enjoy it. Marcus, we were having a great night, man. Hope you are too, buddy. We had a good time last night. It was a lot of fun. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. We are.
Thank you.
Very much, yeah. Okay, so talking about this movie, you know, we talked about The Thing, and what a great scene. I mean, one of my favorite scenes is when the guy's tied up on the couch, and it's like, it just makes us laugh every time we remember this scene where he's tied up and he's very calm, and he's like, you know, gentlemen, I know you've been through a lot, but I'd appreciate it if you could find the time that I would not spend the rest of this winter tied to this couch. And it just, man, I love it. But you didn't know who to trust in that movie. And that's the horrifying thing, right? It's terrifying. And it's such a well done movie. Again, I could talk about The Thing, Mike, for a long time because it's a really good movie. Effects, tension. It is John Carpenter on all 8 cylinders.
So, Steve, how would you survive in that environment? Like you said, it's a very enclosed environment, harsh environment outside where you're in the Arctic, and there's nobody for hundreds, maybe thousands of miles. The last camp they went to, they had to get to it by helicopter, and that's where they found the thing had destroyed the camp. And so if you were to survive this alien attack, how would you try to survive it?
Man, honestly, I don't know how I would survive that. My strategy probably, I have to ask myself, do I want to die this horrific death and being taken over by this creature and having my body and my spine and my head do things it was not supposed to do? Or just go out into the cold and die of hypothermia? At least going out there, I'm gonna not have to see myself like getting ripped to shreds or doing things to other people. I don't know. I just don't know. What's up, Keith? Welcome to the stream, man. That's a really hard question, man, because I would probably try to fight. I would just try to fight and do my very best. And you know what? You just do your very best. And if it ends, if it's your time to go, man, it's your time to go. That's the way I look at it. How about you, man? I don't really have any grand strategy, to survive something like that, or to survive that night.
Well, I don't remember. I don't know if remember how the ending was.
Yeah.
So here's a spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. At the end, Kurt Russell basically blows up the whole compound. He blows up the whole compound. The alien was trying to build a ship so he could either get to civilization, on the Earth, or else escape the Earth. And he blows up the ship, blows up the whole compound, and he's sitting out there next to this little fire. And one of the guys, I guess, survived, and they're sitting there together, and they start passing a bottle of whiskey back and forth to each other. I think for me, I think I would try to go back down, because part of the base was underground. I would probably try to go to underground and try to maybe seal off places where I could maintain some warmth. Try to see if there was anything left that would help me survive, because I'm sure with satellite and everything else, with the CB or radio silence, they probably would have come and tried to figure out what was going on with the base. So hopefully, I could survive within that maybe week's time that, I would have had to try to survive. So that's what I've done. It's human nature to try to survive, to kill yourself or to let yourself die. It's basically goes against your own human nature. God put it into us to try to fight and survive and live. And I would definitely go with that. So how about you, Steve?
I heard you say at some point, I heard you say radio silence. Going radio silent. So when I heard them, I was like, oh, wait a second, I heard that. Yeah, so yeah, it makes sense, man. Here's the only problem. If you go down underground and you block yourself in, you better hope there's food and water that you can, because that's the tricky part. I guess as long as there's maybe like extra supplies down there, you could go and survive and live off those until that alien gets out of there and goes on. But that's probably what I would do too, though, in reality, man, because fighting it is not going to be, you're not going to win like hand-to-hand combat with this thing. No. So you got to almost just hide. You have to just, find a good place to hide and just, just keep your fingers crossed and just pray that someone finds you, because it's going to be tough. Katie says, hey, we're almost to 400. All right, let's go, guys. That's awesome. Thank you so much. And I do want to mention, while we have a decent crowd here, thank you guys for coming. We are going to be joining, and we're going to be ending the stream in about 1 hour, around 10:20 Central Time, and we're going to join Night over at the Night Watch Zone at 10:30 Central. That's 11:30 Eastern tonight, for a watch party of the movie Tusk, which I have not seen. Michael's not seen. Knight even said he hasn't seen. So it's going to be a first-time watch for at least the three of us. So I hope that you guys will all, when this stream ends, if you guys are hanging out with us for the next hour, that you guys will all merge over to the Night Watch Zone when we're done, and we can continue the party over there. That'll be a lot of fun. And one thing I know about these watch parties on Knight's channel is they are just that. They are always a party, for sure. Katie says we're in for a treat. Well, good. I'm excited to hear that. And I'm very, very excited. Yeah, Keith, hope you can join us. And Extron, what's going on, man? Welcome. Good to see you over here. All right. We're talking a little John Carpenter tonight.
So how many out there in chat have seen The Thing? And give your ideas on how you would try to survive at the end if you were Kurt Russell and you just blown up the compound and you're sitting there with your bottle of whiskey, which I'm going to have me a little whiskey later on. And how, would you trust the person that had walked out of the dark and was sitting there next to you? How would you survive? Or could you survive?
Oh. Val has not seen Tusk. I think you're talking about Tusk. Okay, great. So Val, that'll be another one as well. I know Val's seen The Thing because she knows she's a big John Carpenter fan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what you guys have to say. Do you have any other strategy than we do than running and hiding? Because that seems to be the best option in my book, but definitely. All right, so The Thing, again, it's a masterpiece film. It's my second. So let me ask you this, Mike. Of the three, I should probably save this for like the end, but I'll ask you in advance. In this trilogy of these three films, The Thing, In the Mouth of Madness, and Prince of Darkness, which John Carpenter himself has referred to the apocalyptic trilogy. That's what he intended all three to be together. What is your favorite? If you can only have one of these three, what's it going to be?
Well, actually, I was already thinking about ranking them. And the way I would rank them would be, even though The Thing, in my opinion, is the best done movie, in my opinion, In the Mouth of Madness is my guilty pleasure movie. I love In the Mouth of Madness. I don't know why. I love Sam Neill. I love how he, his whole character in The Mouth of Madness, and just the insanity of that movie compared to The Thing. The Thing was like, great actors, great location, great everything. But for some reason, In the Mouth of Madness is just my favorite. So it's In the Mouth of Madness, The Thing, and then The Prince of Darkness at the end. How about you?
Yeah, I think, and it's interesting how you made a distinction. Oh, and real quick, want to say hello to Echo. Hi, welcome back. It's good to see you here on the stream. And also, Nanette's popping in. Well, hey, come on in, Nanette. Welcome. Glad you're back tonight as well. Make yourself at home. We're talking John Carpenter's apocalyptic trilogy tonight. This is good stuff. So we just started talking about The Thing, but now we're talking about, before we get into the Mouth of Madness, we're ranking them personal favorites. They're all really good, so there's not like a bad movie. It's just what are our favorites, preferences. And I know what you mean, Michael, because I think there's no argument that The Thing is the best made film of these three. It's no doubt in my mind. I'm with you. Like it's a masterpiece level. The other two are not up that high. They're lower. Mm-hmm. But I will say this, in terms of rewatchability, like just if I had to pick one just to turn on and watch and not be extremely stressed out but still a little freaked out, it's got to be The Mouth of Madness. Yeah. It has to be, of these three, because the others, they're a little. There's a stress factor to those others that I feel, and I don't feel it as much in this middle bridge movie of In the Mouth of Madness. But The Mouth of Madness doesn't really feel like a bridge quote movie. It's a great independent film on its own. But I think the thing about The Mouth of Madness that for me is it's imagination. The monsters, the creatures, the whole, and it's got Sam Neill going. And man, I'm a big Sam Neill fan. I think the guy's great. And so, yeah, I really do like him as a lead in that movie. But I love the originality of it, the creativeness, and the practical effects, the puppets, the tearing, that stuff, man. And so anyway, all three of these movies have great practical effects. But I think that of the Thing and In the Mouth of Madness, I think are probably my favorite. But the rewatchability for me personally is In the Mouth of Madness. So yeah, I think we're on the same page, man. The Thing, the best film, but the most fun rewatchable one is In the Mouth of Madness.
How would you rank it then?
Well, if I'm going to rank them, I'm literally going to rank them the way they came out. It's going to be The Thing, In the Mouth of Madness, and Prince of Darkness in order.
Okay.
And which is unusual that I usually don't rank sequels exactly as they come out. But this one I do for sure. Extron's popping in saying, to be honest, Craven, I didn't know about this channel until I saw your community post for the channel stream. But I just like to subscribe. Well, thank you, Extron. We appreciate you very much, man. And hey, man, we're going to be streaming here every week. Once a week, we're going to bring a live stream for at least a couple of hours, talking about like 3 or 4 different films. So it's going to be a mixed bag. And so I hope you'll come back every week and check it out, man. Be a part of the family over here as you are over on Craven. And look, speaking of the family, what's going on, Wayne? How you doing, my buddy from down under? It's 12:25 Sunday in Australia there. That's awesome. Glad you're here. I have The Thing on Blu-ray Arrow Video Edition. Ooh. I have not seen the other two, though I have The Prince of Darkness recorded off TV to watch. Okay. Still getting over The Thing in me. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. What does Val say? Val says The Thing's number 1. 2. Okay, that's exactly what I ranked. Very well, very good. Let's see. Val says, I agree, Craven. That one has the most rewatchability. Yeah, I think so. I think it just does. Yeah. So Wayne says that Sam Neill is a New Zealander, but often us Aussies will pretend he's one of us.
One of my all-time favorite movies from Sam Neill is Event Horizon. I love that movie so much. I don't know why. The sci-fi factor in it. What's the captain's name?
Lawrence
Fishburne. I love Lawrence Fishburne in it. The whole cast is great. It's just such a scary movie for me, but not to the point where I am like grossed out or anything like that. So, I mean, there's some gross parts, but it's just it's great, and I love Sam Neill in it, and he does another nice guy turned evil, I guess, or goes mad, in both those movies, The Mouth of Madness and the Event Horizon. So I really dig Sam Neill. He's a great guy.
Yep. Common thread here. Sam Neill's the glue that sticks it all together.
Or unglues.
Or unglued. An unglued Sam Neill is the glue. Ah.
Oh.
Nanette says she likes Prince first, Mouth second, and The Thing third. Okay, Nanette. All right. Wayne says, I need to watch Mouth of Madness. Yes, you do. And don't read anything about it, Wayne. Don't look up trailers and read some on Google. Just watch it blind. That's the man. Trust us.
Yeah, it'll take you on a trip, and your mind will be blown.
That's right, Val. It is a really pretty good movie. It really is. Wonderful. Okay, so let's talk about that wonderful movie. Now, I will say this, guys. We're gonna, because the movie is 20, almost 30 something years old. We're going to talk a little bit freely on these things. So I know that you haven't, like Wayne hasn't seen it yet. Some of you guys may not have seen Mouth of Madness. So we're going to share some things that may be more than you want to hear. So I'm not going to reveal the ending. Let's not reveal the ending. We'll save that for you. But I think that we might still give some details away along the way that might reveal a bit more than you want to hear. And so I was going to go ahead and share 1 second here while my little pug dog here wants to say hello and go outside. Give us 1 second here, guys. That's my Pekingese in the background. Midnight. And he's letting us know he needs some attention. So give us 1 second here. It's the life of a pet owner. It's the life of a dog lover on a live stream. It's all good. Hey guys, we do life, man. This is doing life. This is what I'm talking about. This is doing life in real time with you guys, with the family. That's how it goes. That's how we got to roll sometimes. Sometimes we just got to pucker up and let her and do what we got to do. Now ATG says his ranking is The Thing, Prince of Darkness, and Mouth of Madness. Okay. Again, these movies are all really good, so there's no wrong order. Just like when you're ranking the Scream franchise, there's no wrong way to rank a Scream franchise unless you have Scream 5 number 1. Then you're not kidding. Then I would seriously question some things. But no, I'm kidding. Kind of, but no, it's all. It's all good. It's all good. But no, and seriously though, so I love this order too. It's good. I mean, it's hard not to put The Thing at number 1 because I think that is just such a masterpiece film and so well done that I get it, man. All right, and I love you guys laughing along with us with a good sense of humor. Much appreciated. You guys, any of you guys have dogs, you know what it's like. You know the dog life. So Wayne, we'll see you, buddy. So glad you're here. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you get to feeling better and get rid of that flu. I know that's no fun, man. So appreciate you stopping in to say hi and supporting the channel.
Thanks for stopping by from down under. That's awesome. Thanks, Wayne.
That's Aussie. That's Aussie. Yeah, that's all right. Let's see. ATG says Craven low-key really dislikes Scream 5. That's not. No, I don't dislike it. It's not true. That's not true. It's my least favorite. That's 100% correct. It's my least favorite. But I don't dislike it. It's a good movie. There's a lot of things I like in that movie. Yeah, it's a lot of things I like in that movie. But it is my least favorite. That is for sure. ATG says, "Are we got roommates?" No, we're not roommates. Actually, we are best friends for 30 years plus, and we live in different states. But Michael was able to come down and spend a couple of days with me here. So he's heading back to Colorado tomorrow afternoon. So this is our last night together. We see each other about twice a year, and usually at the first part of the year, and around this time, usually around this time if we can pull it off. So yeah, no, we're just we're like brothers. Is what we're like. We're like brothers, like we say, brothers from another mother, and so we're going to continue to do this live streaming like this. It'll look the same to you guys. The funny thing is, he's right here. He's like, again, 6 feet away from me in the room now, which is nice. But yeah, that's the dealio.
We're having to mute each other so we don't echo across, because when he's talking, I have mine on mute, and when I'm talking, he has me on his on mute. So, ATG, I can tell you, I dislike Scream 5 so much.
Yeah, Michael really does not like it. Yeah,
they just Dewey so bad. I'm so mad. If I could punch Radio Silence in the face, I would. But I would. I can't believe they killed Dewey. I mean, I would have killed Gale before I would have killed Dewey. But I'm not the horror guru. So whatever.
Hey, man, your opinion counts, though. You've seen them all. You know all the movies, and that's all right. Absolutely, speak your mind.
Extra, I think Steve was 16.
Yeah, I was 16 years old. Mike's got a couple years on me, 2 or 3 years on me.
I was probably 19.
Like 19. That's what I think you were, like 19. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it was a long time ago. Wow. Yeah, long time ago. Well, ATG, listen, man. One thing we know for sure is, I used to have the picture loaded up. I could have showed you. Darn. Oh well, I had to delete it because I've been using up a lot of bandwidth for different stuff going on. But I will tell you this, ATG, the person who did not kill Dewey was Amber. I'm telling you right now, whoever killed him, it was not her. All right? I can tell you right there that is not the person. I don't buy it. I don't believe it. And some people think it's ridiculous if you don't accept that it was Amber. And look, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. It's all good. But I don't care. I'm not going to just change my opinion because people think I should. I don't think it's her. I don't think it was her. I don't believe it was her. And I don't care if Radio Silence and Guy Busick and anyone else says it was her. That's great. I respect that, but I don't believe it.
So, I don't think it was Judy either. I don't think Judy killed him because she was dead.
She was dead. Yeah, that would have been a real trick. But Keith says, I think it was Stu. And man, let me tell you what. Nothing would make me happier than for it to be revealed that the third killer in this movie was in fact Stu Macher, bringing it as he's organized everything with his cult of Ghostface. And all I can say to that, Michael, is get it up.
Yeah! I'm ready, baby! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! It was fun.
So yes, I think you're right, Keith. I love it. I would love for it to be Stu. But no matter who it was definitely not going. It's definitely not Amber. That's 100% sure. Exactly. Nope. I'm glad you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. Just no way. And Annette says, I'm with you, Michael, on Scream 5. Okay. All right. And she said they're going to completely copy the original trilogy. I hope so. Look, if they're going to copy it, then they need to copy the original game plan, which in the third film was supposed to be Stu Macher from prison at the time, leading a cult of Ghostface killers. So if they're going to follow this Scream 2 mold, we'll see. But if they end up doing it, and it looks a lot like they are, then let's see it through and let's get Stu. That rhymed.
What John Carpenter movie was this in?
This was in the unreleased films, the John Carpenter sequels. All right, so getting back to where we were
Tangent.
in the man, I tell you, we got once we get the scream talk flowing, it's hard to turn it off. But I will do my best to stay on topic here with the John Carpenter apocalyptic trilogy we're talking about here for about the next 40 minutes or so. And I'm going to now focus our attention on, ATG. Now that's a tease right there. Man, John Carpenter was making Scream 7. My gosh. That's insane. That would be amazingly insane. In the best way possible. So, anyway, barring that, we've got this real gem of a film in The Mouth of Madness. Michael and I's favorite rewatchable level of all three of these movies. So, Michael, tell me what jumps out to you about this movie that you enjoy about it the most.
Well, it starts off pretty innocent. I mean, this guy is a fraud. He tries to find fraudulent things. And this author, like Stephen King-esque guy, has disappeared, and they're trying to get the money from his disappearance. So he's checking this fraudulent, seeing if it's a fraudulent claim. And first of all, he gets attacked by this guy who's he thinks is a mega fan or whatever, asking him if he likes Sutter Kane. And so he goes with this woman who's supposed to help him out to this town where this Sutter Kane author has been located. And it's just a series of like wild events and things that, mess with your mind to where you're trying to gauge if it's reality or not. And I think that's one of the cool things about the movie is, it's not like everything's set in stone. It's like, you see a little boy on a bike and all of a sudden you accidentally hit him and he gets up and it's like an old man on a bike now. And you see this nice little old lady sitting behind the desk of this hotel, and you come back later and she's actually part monster, and she's got her husband like chained down underneath the desk, hurting him. And it's just really weird stuff that goes on. And you're trying to like sit there and go, is this in somebody's head? Is this him just hallucinating, or is this reality at the time, or what's going on? So yeah, it takes you on a wild trip. And I think Sam Neill, he just kind of like starts cracking up, trying to figure out what's going on. So how about you, Steve?
Yeah, man. Sam Neill literally he carries the movie. I mean, he really carries the movie. His performance is really strong, and you see him unravel, and you just see him literally unravel as the movie goes on and on and on. And again, we won't say the ending. You got to see that. If you haven't seen the movie, we won't spoil that ending. But yeah, it really does make you question what's real and what he thinks is real or not in his mind. And yeah, so you'll have to watch the movie to see where that trip carries you. That trip takes you. But I really enjoyed the movie, and it's where did he have to go to? He had to go to Maine, of course, where Stephen King's state, which I thought was interesting. And very much like you say, the horror writer, very much like Stephen King, and you find out things as the movie progresses about the author, and yeah, so and he has a great influence on things and how he writes and what he writes. So anyway, I'll leave it there for that. That kid monster on the bike. I know that was very spooky, and I remember like there was a forecast of that innkeeper and his wife, or the innkeeper and her husband, where it talks about how she's gonna have multiple legs, like a octopus kind of whatever. And then of course you meet them and they're normal. There's nothing wrong with them. They're fine. And then there always comes a part, but there does come a point that Mike already mentioned where they turn into these very things that you heard a description of. You visually see it. And again, it's Carpenter working his magic, and it looks great. So, yeah. And that's another great scene. Yeah, he cut the covers apart, and it's a map to the town.
Yeah. One of the things about the little kid on the bike is, if you'll remember, he had that little bubblegum baseball card attached to his tire. So when he was riding, it made that click, 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 click sound on his bicycle. So here's a funny story: is that Steve and I watched it together at his house back in the day. And after we'd get through watching a movie, we used to smoke, and we would get done and we'd step out on his back porch or his front porch, and we would smoke cigarettes. So we watched it. It's dark, it's overcast, just creepiness. And he lives in this community where across the way, this woman had this, I don't know what it was, a little flamingo or a fan or a gnome or something. And it had a fan on it. And it was making that click, 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 click sound exactly like the little kid's bike. And it freaked us out so much we had to like throw away our cigarettes and go inside because we were like weirded out.
It was very creepy. Yeah, hearing that sound, it just was like, oh my gosh. Welcome back, Val. Glad you're back. Yeah, that card sound was crazy. AGG asked us, what was our brand? Cools. Let me tell you something. We were always very cool, but we just didn't smoke them. All right. Our brand was back in the. And I'm so glad this is past tense because, I'm so glad we got rid of that habit many like 20 plus years ago. But back in the day for us, it was always Marlboro Lights 100s. All right, Mike. Remember those days? Mike, yeah, it was Marlboro Lights. That was it. And
I think nowadays we'd probably have to put a loan out to get a box of cigarettes.
Yeah, right. It was expensive back then. Like in the 90s, it was like, I remember we were complaining then how expensive it was.
It jumped up from $2 to $2.50.
Yeah, right. Like $2 like $2.50 a pack. That was back in like the mid 90s. I can't imagine what it is now. I have no clue. I guarantee you it's probably double that. Yeah. Anyway. If any of you are smokers in the chat, let us know what a pack's going for these days. I'm curious. Just sure what the inflation is in 20-something odd years. But, all right. Yeah, man. It was Marlboro Lights. That was it. That was the only brand.
Not the marijuanas.
No. None of the funny business. No. Straight out of the pack, right from the store. Oh my gosh. So Mouth of Madness, man. Anything you want to share about that before we start transitioning over to Prince of Darkness? What anything else you want to share?
No, it's just, in the Mouth of Madness, it seemed like, well, I don't want to give away too much, but I'm just trying to figure out how I would have survived and if basically you're in the mind of the author, Sutter Kane, I'm not sure how you could basically survive. I mean, because if you don't want to hear this, close your eyes and close your ears, because I'm going to spoil something. Because at the very end, he's sitting there in the theater, and he's, and everybody's gone, from society, and he doesn't see anybody, and I don't know if they're dead or what, but he's sitting there in the theater, and he looks at the movie theater, and it's a movie that he's living now. It's his life. I mean, and he's the main character in a book. So is he real and somebody wrote about him, or is he a character in a book and he's just living the book as someone's reading it, or is he all an idea in the author's mind? So, you have all these ideas and thoughts, and how would you survive that? I mean, would you be able to survive that? There's really no way to ever survive it, I guess. So I would just have to wing it and try to survive, but I don't know if I could. But
Emotional damage.
definitely emotional damage. I would be crazy too. I'd crack up like Samuel did in the movie theater, just start laughing and freaking out.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's up to the viewer, I think. Carpenter leaves it up to us to figure out what we think we're seeing, and because it is a little bit open-ended. ATG's chiming in and says, I think we were watching the book he wrote, like we were actually watching the book he wrote, and that's very well could be. Yeah, that's very possible that we're just literally seeing it happen. But I love the fact that it's subjective, and yeah, exactly. I just said the same thing. It's very subjective. It leaves it up to you, the viewer, to make your own mind up. Was Sam a pawn? Was he a guy who had no control over his destiny? Well, was he predetermined, where he didn't even have free will? And that's one way you could look at it. And somehow, in a very, I don't want to say cosmic's the right word, but in some way greater than his own ability is a part of this thing that he can't control. That could be. Or it could just be as simple as we're seeing Sutter Kane's book come to life through the eyes of the protagonist of his story. That's another possibility. So it's really interesting. And I do think it's wild at the end when I guess we are spoiling it. So guys, look, we're spoiling it. So if you haven't seen it, again, the thing is that this movie is literally 25, 6, 7 years old. It's ancient. It's like mid-90s. But I know that doesn't mean we've all seen movies from the 90s. There's a lot I've missed. But I'm going to reiterate the ending again now. So if you don't want to hear it, just go on, just take your sound down for about 60 seconds or so and come back. So when we see him walk into that theater, and it's so unsettling, Mike. And that scene, whenever he's sitting there,
nobody there, and there's blood on the walls and everything else.
It's like total chaos has happened. Yeah, there's blood everywhere. It looks like it's been a literal horror show that's gone around him and everywhere. And he's by himself eating popcorn, looking at the big screen, and he's seeing his whole life that he just lived, that we watched on the screen, happen. And then he just starts laughing in total like he just cracks.
Madness.
Cracks.
He's laughing madly.
Madly. Yeah, it's like the insanity laughing, kind of laughing, and where he's completely gone, like he's just snapped. He's gone. So it's an interesting way to end the movie, and it's unsettling because it doesn't have closure really. What a way to end the movie, and there's no real resolution. You don't know, and so those movies often make me feel that, kind of give me that feeling of being unsettled at the end.
Yeah, I just realized when ATG wrote what he wrote is that people were reading the book and they were going crazy reading the book, and then they turned it into a movie. And I guess when the movie was released, that's when it hit society and made everybody go crazy. And so I wonder if that was Sam Neill's first time reading or seeing the movie to where he started going crazy like society did.
Kind of like whenever, like for all the kids that put on the mask in Halloween 3, and how it was transmitting across the TV waves. Remember?
Yeah.
They all put the mask on. They were totally sane. And then this happens.
1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three.
So yeah, it could be something like that where, everyone reads it and goes nuts. Everyone puts the mask on and they I love it. Val, I had to do it. It tied right in with the subject matter at hand. And yeah, that's right. Exactly. They turn into bugs. Same thing. This kind of, if you think about it, it kind of does parallel Halloween 3 in a little way. Like if we're going with that theory, that when you watch it, when you hear it, you read it, you go nuts. Now, you don't necessarily have bugs crawling out of your head, but you go nuts. You go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's a fun. I don't know if I call it. It's not really not a fun watch, but that's not the word. But it is in a way it's fun because it's so like fantastic in terms of like fantasy. You know what I mean? You're walking in this alternate dimension or something. And that part I find fun about this movie. Now what happens in it all is not very fun, but it's definitely one we could turn on and watch again and just like go, literally could get popcorn and just watch the movie. Yeah. Mike, any other thoughts on In the Mouth of Madness?
Well, I mean, one of the other Carpenter movies I liked was with Roddy Piper. I think it was called They or Them. In where
They Them?
No, not they them. And he would wear these glasses and he could see that certain people were actually aliens, and it was like they had done something to where humans couldn't see aliens. So it's kind of he's always going for like these movies where the Prince of Darkness and In the Mouth of Madness and I think it was called They, where you have these monsters that are around you or inside you or there, and you have to figure it out and find out and try to like beat it. But it's just In the Mouth of Madness. There's not really any way to beat it because it's in this author's head. And so, They was aliens. So was The Thing. And then the Prince of Darkness is basically the devil. And there was a way to try to beat him. But in the Mouth of Madness, it wasn't. How would you survive, Steve? You never really answered that question.
Oh yeah, I kind of forgot about the question. So yeah, that's your odds are as horrible as the odds are to survive The Thing. They're even harder and worse to survive this movie. Mm-hmm. How can you hide from the author whose brain by which you come forth? Ooh, that's very powerful and emotional right there.
Yeah, basically,
felt that.
You're a figment of the author's imagination.
Exactly. You're not real. You're real, but you're not real. You're not independent. You have no free will. You have no ability to determine your own destiny or fate, make any of your own real choices. You think you're making choices, but you're really just doing what he's written you to do.
Predetermined.
It's predetermined. It's terrible. It's like the most horrible worldview you can possibly have. And, there are people that actually live their worldview with predeterminist view. Terrible. There's no hope at all in that.
Mm-mm.
So if you're going to have any chance in this movie, all I can say is be a good character and do what the author wants you to do and hope that he likes you and decides he's going to let you live. because otherwise, you're gonna. Didn't.
Always be a last girl.
A final boy, final girl. It's a boy.
All right, we're going to move on to The Prince of Darkness.
Yes, our last 20 minutes will be dedicated to the last movie.
I saw this movie probably in the 2000s. I know it came out in the 80s, maybe late 80s. Today was Steve's first time seeing it. I kind of like had to drag him to see it. He was unsure about the movie. He thought it was going to be just all about. Well, I'm talking for him. I don't know what he thought, but I had the feeling he thought it was going to be all about like demonic possession and stuff, which it did end up being possession, but it didn't seem or feel like, a creepy, the devil is coming, demons are here, certain people are possessed kind of movie. It starts off at a school or at a church where this old priest died and had a key in this little chest, and they were called the Brothers of Sleep, and they were basically watching over a liquid. Yeah, ATG. It's about a liquid Satan and Alice
Satan,
Cooper.
yeah.
That's basically it.
That's true.
It was like a tube of liquid that was starting to leak. And it was basically Satan, and Jesus had sealed it up and left it buried in the sands, and the priest took it and became in charge of it. And it started leaking out, and it didn't leak on the floor. It leaked up into the ceiling. And anytime somebody would get hit with the fluid, they would become possessed. And people started having these weird dreams. Everybody was having the same dream, and it was basically somebody broadcasting from the future, saying that the devil was coming, or somebody was coming, and it was showing the front of the church that they were in, studying this tube of liquid, and this one of the people that was studying it comes out of the door. Like they're possessed, or like they're the second coming of the devil, or I don't know what it was, but it was it had a couple of people in there that were well-known actors at the time. One was one of the guys from Simon and Simon, the TV show, and two others were from the movie Big Trouble in Little China, and so it was pretty good cast, and it got kind of creepy. I mean, there were a couple of ooey parts, and I don't know if I did justice on describing it, so I'll let Steve describe whatever he thinks I was deficient in.
Well, you may have accidentally forgot my most favorite actor in the film, the great Donald Pleasance.
That's true.
And he was, anytime Donald Pleasance, you got me at Donald Pleasance. I don't care if it's Agatha Christie's 10 Little Indians. Donald Pleasance is in that movie. Yep. And I'm all over it. That guy was, so it's always great to hear Loomis, Dr. Loomis back in a film. And every time I hear him speak, I'm just waiting to hear him say, Michael, it's like, oh. But the great Donald Pleasance, the guy he's a brilliant actor. I always thought he was great in everything that I ever saw him in. So it was good to see him. Yeah, good cast. And again, John Carpenter, man, it's a good movie. And yeah, Alice Cooper, man, you gotta love Alice Cooper hanging out there stalking people.
He was a murderer.
Murder. Yeah, man. It was interesting. I got into it because it was so non-theologically accurate that I actually could enjoy it.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, because, I just, theology and all this is very important to me. All right. So, and I can just tell you right now that this movie is the most ungrounded theological movie that I've seen probably in a very long time from me. So I actually am glad because it takes it completely out of the realm of reality. which is great. So I could really enjoy that a lot more and say, okay, yeah, we're not even. This is good. We're gonna go and just do an alternate thing completely off out of left field. So yeah, Liquid Satan. Okay, we can do that because that's nothing like what it really is like. So I'm okay with that.
Or was it the liquid Antichrist?
The Liquid Antichrist. It wasn't Satan. Yeah, to be accurate,
Satan,
it was supposed
Satan
to be
was
the Antichrist.
in the mirror.
Yes, that's correct. So yeah, it was the Liquid Antichrist. So anyway, I enjoyed it and could take it for what it was, and without be too critical on it from a theological accuracy perspective. So that part I really liked and enjoyed and just had fun with it. I just had fun with the movie. But there were some great practical effects in this movie, Mike. Good stuff, man. The girl that was pregnant and how her skin changed to that horrible, I don't even know what you call it, just almost like the skin peeling off, right?
Yeah.
Was really good effects. And
Yeah, they labeled it as the green goo because it flowed from the ceiling and while she was sleeping into her body, and she became the chosen one. It was like a parasite that like joined with her body, but it made her skin start coming off, like she'd been in like a bad like nuclear reactor or something.
Like Freddy Krueger on steroids.
Yeah, pretty bad. It was her skin looked actually like Freddy Krueger's skin, when he'd been burnt and stuff. And so that was pretty nasty.
Yep, great soundtrack. That is true. It was good. I mean, almost all of these '80s horror films had pretty good soundtracks, like the ones with a budget. Like the ones that had money.
Mm-hmm.
Maximum Overdrive, which gosh, I love that movie. So good. You've seen Maximum Overdrive. Oh, it's so good. And that AC/DC did the whole soundtrack, and it's killer stuff. But yeah, it was fun.
Literally
creepy.
killer.
Literally, yes, very much so. I will say the creepiest part of this movie to me was when the guy walks up the stairs singing Amazing Grace.
Oh, yeah.
And he gets to the top and he's got this weird like smile. Again, demented, not normal, like demented smile. Like you could tell the guy's possessed,
Dude, and that laugh.
Yeah, the laugh. That's the other thing. Yeah, he has that laugh. It's clearly he's possessed by demonic spirits, and he's singing it, and then he like starts to cut his throat while he's singing it. I'm like, dude. Of course, thankfully they stopped him in time.
Or a piece of stick.
Yeah. Thankfully it wasn't something sharper. But yeah, they were able to stop him, and it was something else, man. I don't know, man. I think it's probably for me. It is the third. I rank it last of the trilogy for me as far as rewatchability. I could watch it again. I don't know that I would actively want to though, but I could. I wouldn't be opposed to saying, yeah, I got look throw it on, especially if someone hasn't seen it before, because I like watching people's first time reactions. Those are fun.
Yeah.
What do you think, man?
I think one of the saddest things for me, which I don't know why it happened, is Donald Pleasance is trapped in a room against the wall, and this Antichrist lady is reaching her hand through the mirror, and she's like, "Father, come with me to freedom," or something like that, and starts pulling this entity out of the mirror dimension. And the blonde-headed guy with the porn stash, Simon and Simon, his red-headed girlfriend sees it, and she just pushes this entity into the mirror, but then she follows with her. And I'm like, lady, learn how to drop kick, drop kick that thing into the mirror, and then you don't have to go into this like evil dimension yourself. And right after she jumps in, man, Donald Pleasance throws his axe at the window mirror and it breaks, right? And then, the guy from Simon and Simon's all sad because that was his new girlfriend, I guess. And I'm just thinking, it is sad that, his girlfriend went to evil dimension and probably got possessed or turned evil. And spoiler alert, at the end, when the dream is finally gone through fruition, it's her that comes back out of the mirror. And I think that she's the one that starts the apocalypse, to destroy the earth or whatever. But yeah, I just think that the one thing is and it would have like destroyed the movie, but she could have run up there and pushed really hard on the girl because she was up against the mirror, pushed her in the mirror, and then broke the glass or drop kicked her, like I said. So what were your thoughts about that scene, Steve?
I thought the same thing. I was like, you could just shove the girl. You could just go up there and just shove her in and say, wave goodbye, and it's over. So I would not have just jumped on her back and said, let's go, and just dive in. Yeah. But, again, that was part of the script. That's how, because he wanted her to come back, right, and go from being the hero to bringing on all of this other stuff. So, yeah, I hear you, man. That's what I thought too, And then it was interesting how you were explaining to me about the whole dreams, because it ends with Pornstache. I don't remember his name, but that mustache dude, he was rocking that mustache.
He was rocking it,
dude. He owned that stash. That was like hardcore.
And every chance he had, he would have his shirt off or his shirt unbuttoned to where you could see his chest. And yeah, he was rocking it, man. But yeah, it was sad for him, and yeah, I didn't really realize it until I saw the end of the first time I saw it, was that each time they saw a vision of their dreams, it would be a little bit, and then each time it progressed throughout the movie, it would be a little bit more and a little bit more, until at the very end when Pornstache, that's his name now,
I guess it is,
Pornstache saw the complete one and his girlfriend came out. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they had extended scenes on this movie to where she comes out of the building and there's like police or army vehicles surrounding the church. And I think we only saw that one part, but I think there are extended scenes where it shows like armies surrounding the church.
Yeah, if any of you in the chat, have you seen those other scenes? That sounds right to me too. Let me know in the chat if you guys know what Mike's talking about. Have you guys seen these scenes where the tanks and all that were all surrounding the church? If you've seen that, let us know. I'd be curious to see if it ends differently, or probably doesn't. Probably just like pans out.
I think it does.
Right?
That's all it does.
Yeah, pans out.
So how would you survive, Steve?
Well, oh man. First thing I would have done is probably the moment I started to notice all of these people lined up on the sidewalks and staring in the alley, I would have just left. Like before it got really crazy, like day one, day two, I would have been like, there's something not right about this, and I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna go, guys. Sorry, I'm out of here. Mm-hmm. And now, what makes it harder is once they all are like 3/4 into the movie, they're surrounding everything. Now that's going to be a lot more difficult.
All the doors are blocked.
The doors are blocked. You're literally stuck inside. And so
worms all over the windows.
Oh gosh, yeah, the worms. Now that John Carpenter has a thing for insects, man. I tell you, there were beetles. Remember, ants, beetles, worms.
The dead guy was standing there. He had beetles all over him. He's like, "I have a message for you. Pray for death." And then all of a sudden, his head falls off, and the beetles start eating him.
Oh man. Oh my gosh, yeah. Val says, I haven't seen those scenes. Okay. And that says, I've seen them, but I have to movie on DVD. Okay, so maybe it's on the DVD. Maybe it's like a special features or maybe deleted scenes or something. It's possible. Yeah, so as far as surviving it, man, again, what are you going to do? I'll tell you one thing you do is you don't open your friggin' mouth. There is more spit shooting going on in this movie and projectile liquid vomiting going on in this film. Anytime you turn around, this liquid is trying to get inside of your mouth. So I would, number one, just breathe through my nose and close my mouth and...
It would shoot your nose.
Well, I would have to wear a face mask then. I'd find some kind of helmet, some kind of astronaut's helmet or something.
A deep sea diver's helmet.
Yes, there you go, diving helmet. That's probably the safest way to not get possessed by these things. How about you, man? Do you have a different plan?
I actually do. I was thinking about this long and hard, and I was thinking, the woman was sitting there, and she's the precursor to the apocalypse, I guess, since this is like a apocalyptic trilogy. And the thing, it would be hard to survive. In the Mouth of Madness, it would be almost impossible to survive. But I think with this one, they were sending back images of the future of what was going to happen. So if you could affect the future in any way by maybe blowing up the building or doing something that counteracted what you saw in your dream, I think maybe that might deter the Armageddon or apocalypse, whatever was going to happen. So get a whole bunch of dynamite or whatever and blow that church up, and then it would be totally different than what you were seeing from the future. Maybe it would have created an alternate reality or whatever, but at least you might have a chance of surviving.
Well, I want to know what would have happened if you'd have taken a baseball bat and just destroyed that vat of liquid, just busted it wide open. Would it have done anything different?
No, it was releasing. It was up on the ceiling.
Yeah,
and
so it would have helped it go faster then, not.
Yeah, because that woman that had the mark on her arm.
Yeah,
it started to shoot into her. That's how it propagated itself and became alive, because it bonded with that woman because she became the chosen one.
So if you got a flamethrower and you just flame that fluid, I wonder if it was like symbiotic, like it had feelings or something, or not. It was alive. It was alive. Where you could what I'm saying? Like,
I think it was alive, because remember the Asian lady when it took over her and she was on the computer and she's typing and stuff. It was saying, no nuclear things will affect me. I live. Like I'll work and no play makes Johnny a dull boy. She was like, I live. And then all of a sudden they killed that guy. So
horror show. I think the verdict is there's not a real good. The analysis is the survival rate is low on this trilogy, don't you think?
Yeah. I think just my theory would be 2 out of 3, maybe that you could survive really hard, but 1 out of 3 maybe. Like Steve said at the very beginning, church, you see the people coming out and you take off. At least you have maybe a couple more months to live before everything else becomes possessed. But
That's
I don't know.
true. Putting off the inevitable for a little bit longer, but you couldn't stop it. Man, wow. So now, well, guys, listen, we're gonna probably leave it here. We've got about 10 minutes from now. We're gonna be popping up over at the Night Watch Zones channel. So I hope you guys will all come join us. We're going to be watching the movie called The Tusk. I've never seen it. Neither has Michael. Neither has Knight himself. He hasn't seen it. And Val hasn't seen it, I believe, either. So, guys, come join us if you got some time tonight. And we're going to watch the movie and just kick back and relax and have a good time. Guys, Mike, you want to say anything before I close this out?
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for coming. I really appreciate you coming over and supporting the channel and giving us feedback. I think that's the most fun part. is getting to know you guys and getting feedback from you to where we can, go back and forth and talk about, all of these different things. I know Steve loves it. He's always talked to me about how on his Craven channel, all these wonderful people have created a community and that he gets to go on there and talk to them. And he just has such a great time. And I've come to understand how that works now by talking with y'all. And I so greatly appreciate it. And thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Oh, thank you, Michael. That was very sweet of you. And yeah, I feel the same way, guys. I'm so glad that you guys are hanging with us. Thank you, Jennifer. This was a fun chat. I enjoyed it as well. I'm really glad you guys had a good time. I know it was kind of quick, but it was just we wanted to just jump on here and share our thoughts on the John Carpenter trilogy while it was kind of fresh and really fresh. And that's an inside joke. Sorry, guys. We'll bring you in on some of these inside jokes as time goes. But I'm glad you guys came over. Keith, you too. Thank you, Keith. We appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out with us this stream. Jennifer, we've never seen it either. It's going to be a mystery. We're going in blind without any clue what this movie's about. Just going to turn it on and watch it. So come join us, Jennifer. You can just come on and join us on this roller coaster of the unknown. Coming up in 10 minutes, guys. It's over at the Night Watch Zone. Come check it out. It's going to be great. And Val says, no problem, Michael. I'm excited. So excited to watch this channel grow. Thank you, Val.
Thank you, Val.
We're excited too. We're at 381. You guys are already helping us grow as we're trying to reach our next little milestone of 500 subs or 120. I can't do math. Whatever. We're 119 away. I think that's right. So anyway, guys, thank you guys for subscribing here to the channel and for subscribing to Michael's channel, The Carbonite Jedi. Links in the description. Val has already posted it earlier as well. And I think you guys are all subscribed to Craven Something Scary already. But if you're not, you know where to find me over there. And I'll be returning to my normal schedule back with you guys streaming Monday night. This Monday night, I'll be streaming at 9:30 time. We're going to be talking about Halloween Ends with I got Brandon from I Like Scary, Knight, Helvington, Brett James Bishop. Is going to be a Halloween Ends stream. So if you guys are Halloween fans, Monday night on my channel, come on. That's all we're going to be talking about. All Halloween talk. But in the meantime, we'll see you over at the Night Watch Zone. We're going to beat you guys there in about 5 minutes. And we really appreciate you guys. And we're going to be back here, Michael, right? Next week. Mm-hmm. We haven't set the date yet, but stay tuned. And we'll be back to stream with you guys.
We haven't decided if we're going to do a live stream or a live watch party or what we're going to talk about or what we're going to see. So it's up in the air right now.
Yes, you will know soon. We'll get it. Once we decide, I'll get it posted so you guys can set notifications and be ready to go. And we're going to do it every week. So we're excited. So thank you guys again for coming tonight. And once again, this is Steven.
And this is Michael. And we are the Movie Bros.